Covered in tar and unable to breathe, dog is rescued by surprising hero. Sometimes, the harshest behaviors provoke people to demonstrate the spirit of humanity at full brevity. Fortunately, for this dog covered in tar, there is a happy ending to the harrowing incident. A couple of months ago, two regular boys from Argentina stumbled upon a poor pupper, completely drenched in tar. Yup, that's blazing hot tar glazed all over the poor animal's body. Experts say that it takes several hours for tar to cool off, and by then, the material develops a stone-cold resilience. So much so that the dog was unable to move. All the poor animal could do was whine and make crying sounds. As the boys recall it now, they were startled to discover the dog. At first, they thought that it was a statue, but closer inspection revealed that the animal was barely hanging on. That's when they decided to rescue the supposedly soon-to-be dead fella. They named him Petro, a word derived from petroleum in the Spanish language. The boys apparently had no idea how to rescue the dog. Somehow, they mustered the means to transport the poor guy to their local residence, but the actual challenge started there. As the two volunteers recall, they were in a frenzy to save the dog. The guys called in help. They watched YouTube videos and did all kinds of research on animals that were rescued under similar circumstances. They discovered that pouring a blend of oil and petroleum can cause the tar to thin. How much petroleum and oil bottles do you think they poured over the dog? Well, guess what? The quantity amounted to over 5 liters. Fortunately, Petro also received volunteer help from experts at the Zoonosis Lanus Pet Center in Argentina. This was an entirely unique experience, even by the rescue center professionals' standard. To be honest, people rarely see an animal covered in tar. What they are still trying to figure out is how Petro ended up covered in blazing hot liquid tar in the first place. Was the dog standing in a tar truck's way? Did a driver mishandle the poor animal on purpose? Others believe that Petro must have fallen into a tar pit and then tried to wade or swim through to his freedom. By the looks of it, there was a collar and a leash around Petro's neck, which is evidence that the dog was owned by someone before. However, the boys were unable to contact the original owner. They tried, but since there was no name tag or anyone who came up to claim the animal's possession, the rescuers decided to give the pupper a new home. The road to recovery was not an easy one. Petro had to be kept still for 5 hours for several people to be able to comb through each hair strand. The dog somehow cooperated in between winces of pain and cries. The tar and petrol smell sent a lethal dose of toxins into the animal's lungs. As soon as Petro was cleared of all the tar, he was sent to the local Argentinian veterinary for a brief checkup. Things started to look bright after Petro received a dose of liquid diet and fresh water. Some believe that the dog was a target of animal abuse. Had Petro not been discovered in time, things would have taken a grim turn. The tar was literally suffocating the puppy towards a slow and agonizing death. Volunteers had to take turns to clean the animal's ears, eyes, and nostrils, and other orifices. According to one of the rescuers, Miriam Hortelado, from the Zoonosis Lanus Pet Center, people refused to give up on the poor dog. Miriam also said, "We bought a lot of things. We watched tutorials on the internet, and we were trying to check all kinds of products that may help in cleaning Petro's skin." Hard work and untiring effort eventually paid off. Petro is recovering fine now. The new owners wish to thank everyone who chipped in at the last moment to help this poor animal. At the moment, Petro seems to be growing hair on his back at a steady pace. Vets were worried that the animal may not recover from fume intoxication, but Petro demonstrated immense courage. The tar-covered dog made a drastic recovery. Petro is now living a normal pupper life. He goes out for walks, plays catch, and loves to pose for videos and photographs. If you ever see any animal or bird trapped in a life-threatening situation, don't think, Just jump right in and do your best to save a life. Besides, animals have a lot more selfless and equally cute way of repaying kindness than human beings.